Wow, there's a lot of you. I'm actually surprised that a lot of you come here for rejection. So, how many of you like rejection? Raise your hand. Anyone? Or how many of you don't like rejection? Okay, cool. Good, we're normal. Hopefully by the end of this session, you'll be able to understand rejection a little bit better. How many of you like gifts? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. All right, I hope all of you. If you don't like gifts, you can give your gifts to me all the time. I love gifts. I love giving gifts. I love getting gifts. But for a period of time, I didn't like gifts that much. Right now I live in California, but I grew up in Beijing, China. And when I was 6-year-old, my first grade teacher one day came up with this brilliant idea. Brilliant. That she wanted us to not only get gifts, but also learn to compliment each other. Say nice things to each other. So she had all of us come to the front of the classroom. There were 40 of us. She said, hey, why don't you say nice things, right? If someone else says something nice about you, you can just go get a gift and sit down. What a great idea, right? What could go wrong? When it started, it was great. Every time I heard someone else's name was called, I'll be like, yay, when it's my turn. Then there were 20 people left and 10 left. At the end, there were 3 kids left. That's where the compliments stopped. And guess what? I was one of them. At that moment, I didn't want the gifts anymore. I didn't want the compliments anymore. I just want to sit down. And I was crying. I really had no idea why no one would say anything nice about me. I thought I was cool. I thought I was popular. I thought everyone liked me. Then I saw who was standing next to me. I knew otherwise because I hated those 2 kids. And the teacher was freaking out. She was like, oh man, would anyone say anything nice about these people? No? Okay, why don't you just go get a gift and sit down? You guys behave better next year so someone will say something nice about you. That was when I was 6-year-old. Ever since that day, I would die not to be in that situation again, just getting rejected in public. But that was when I was 6. I was only one version of me. I live in California now. Everything there is about versions, version 1.0 and 2.0. So that was version 1.0 of me. And then fast forward 8 years, when I was 14, I got an upgrade to version 2.0 by this guy. Do you know who he is? Okay, anyone? Bill Gates, that's right, Bill Gates. He came to China to promote Windows 95. And I heard him speak. But by the way, I don't know why this picture is in black and white. It's only 25 years ago. This looked like a war picture or something from a long time ago. But ever since that day, I love that guy. I loved everything about him. I love his entrepreneur story. I love the idea of using technology to change the world. So that night, I wrote a letter to my family telling them, okay, don't worry about your son. I got my life figured out. By age 25, I'll build the biggest company in the world. And I will buy Microsoft from Bill Gates. And I really embracing this idea of dominating the world, right? I didn't make this up. My family kept this letter for me all these years, and they sent it to me when I was 30. They're like, have you done this? So this was the letter look like. By the way, you don't have to try to read this. It's really bad handwritten Chinese. But I did highlight some keywords for you so you know what I'm talking about there. Also in that letter, I said someday I want to go to the United States to fulfill that dream. Because that's where Bill Gates lived. I want to beat him there, in his home place. I even picked out my own city. I said I want to go to Houston. Has anyone ever been to Houston? Anyone? Cool. Okay, someone. So 2 years later, I was given the chance to go to the U.S. as a high school student. I jumped on this opportunity. But I didn't go to Houston. I didn't go to L.A. and New York. I didn't go to any of the big cities. I went to rural Louisiana. Okay. Maybe some of you have been to rural Louisiana. It's very different, very different. And I said, okay, it's all right. This is the start of a great entrepreneur dream. Someday someone will write a book about me, like I'm this great immigrant entrepreneur. And then so that was when I was 16. And then fast forward another 14 years. One day I woke up, I was 30. Nope, I didn't build the biggest company in the world. I didn't even start. What did I do? I did pretty well for myself. I went to school. I found a job. I made money. I went to better school. I found a better job. I made more money. I bought a car, bought a house, bought a dog. I kind of fulfilled everything in this picture, this American dream. I mean, no, that's not my house. But this is a great dream. It's a dream a lot of people in the world try to have, but it wasn't my dream. Where was the kid who wrote that letter, who wanted to change the world? And as it turned out, every time, and even at work, I felt stuck. I wasn't progressing. I felt every time I want to have a new idea I want to do, every time I want to do something risky, I want to take a chance, or even at work, I want to speak in front of people. I got a new idea, I got a new proposal. Every time I had those things, there's a constant battle between the 6-year-old and the 14-year-old. One wanted to change the world, another was afraid of rejection. And guess what? Every time that 6-year-old won. So when and this fear of rejection even stayed with me. So when I was 30, I just heard the news from my wife that we're gonna have a baby. Yay! I mean, don't get me wrong. I love babies. I recommend them to all of you when the timing is right. But the thing is, when you become a father, just chance of you becoming this world-changing entrepreneur goes way down. Your responsibility changed, your priorities changed. So I said, okay, I probably missed my boat. I'll be a good family man now. But then my wife saw how unhappy I was. She was like, hey, when I met you at school, all you talked about were your business ideas. You want to do this, this, and that, right? I want to have that guy back. If you really want to be an entrepreneur, why don't you just go out and do it? Why don't you quit your job and focus? And you don't have to do this forever. How about you do this for 6 months? Build your company for 6 months. You set up some goals and metrics. If by the end of it you reach it, you keep going. Otherwise, you quit again. Otherwise you can look for a job again. It's not that complicated. There are many times in my life I felt I married up. This is one of them. So this is the day my son was born in Austin, Texas. That's where I lived in Texas. And 4 days before that, I quit my job. So this is where I turned my back into my manager, asked her to take a picture of me. As you can see, she wasn't happy. This was a bad picture. She was like, sure, there you go. So when I was walking out of there, I just really, part of me felt, wow, great. I can finally go after my dreams. And the other half of me felt just scared. I felt naked. Because before, I had all kind of excuses, right, of not going after my dreams because I have a family, I have a kid on the way. But now there's no more excuses. The only person standing between me and success was myself. So I better get going. So I hit the ground running. I built a team of 4 engineers, and we're building this mobile app. I was having a great time. And then 4 months into my venture, it just got real. A very well-known local investor showed interest in my company. I really thought he was going to invest. So much so that I even dreamed about this 5 different times. I believe in God, so I thought this is like the answer an answer to my prayers. There's no way I wasn't gonna get this. I had those dreams. Each time in those dreams, the same thing. I would get this call from the investor. I would try to play it cool. Then I hang up the phone and jump up and down, hug my wife, and call my parents. Then I woke up. It really sucks to have to wake up from the same dream over and over again. But then that was a dream. There was reality. One day I was at a restaurant celebrating a friend's birthday. There was a singing, there's happiness all around me. And then my phone vibrated, and I saw it was an email from the investor. It was a one-liner. It said, nope, we're not going to do this. At that moment, I had to just stand up and walk out so people wouldn't see me crying in front of them. I didn't know why I was hurt this bad. I thought I was tough. I thought I was smart. I thought I was well-educated. But at that moment, the 6-year-old was standing on my shoulder again, just whispering in my ears. He was like, hey, who do you think you are? You want to be an entrepreneur? That's for the geniuses. You're just a wannabe. You should quit now before you embarrass yourself more. That's where that's where it dawned on me. Hey, would Bill Gates wanting to give up after a rejection like this? Would anyone successful at anything wanting to give up after a rejection like this? No way. So I can keep going. I can build a better team, a better product, but I got to be a better leader. I have to be tougher. I have to be a better person. I got to solve that rejection problem. So I have to put that 6-year-old back to his place so he wouldn't talk to me again like this. So what did I do? I searched online. Google's my friend. So I searched, how do I overcome my fear of rejection? First of all, I saw a bunch of articles written by psychologists telling me, where's your fear and pain coming from? They weren't that helpful. Then I saw a bunch of articles written by sales gurus, like this rah articles and shouting me into my face, or like, hey, don't take rejection personally. Just move on. Just overcome it. I'm like, who doesn't know that? If it was that simple, why was I still so afraid? Then I saw a website that got me interested. It's called Rejection Therapy.com. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Rejection Therapy was a game invented by this Canadian guy. So basically, it's a deck of cards, 30 cards. Each card will give you some idea to get rejected on purpose. The idea is if you go look for rejection instead of running away, by the end of it, you would desensitize yourself from the pain of rejection. You will like become this tough guy. I'm like, this is the best idea I've ever heard. I want to do this, but instead of doing it for 30 days, how about if I do this for 100 days? I want to do more. I just want to be really tough. How about if when I do this, how about if I upload this video to YouTube, and I would make a video blog out of this thing. I want to share this with the world. So that's what I did. So that's what the website looked like then. Rejection 1, borrow $100 from a stranger. All right. So one day, my office is downtown Austin at the time, right, in Texas. One day before going home, I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I better do this. But asking money, I'm not that kind of guy, right? So how do I ask money? And so then I saw a guy sitting in the lobby. I was like, okay, I'm going to ask him. I can do this, no problem. I'm just pumping myself up. Yeah, I can do this. Yeah. So as I get closer, I just slow down. My heart started to pound. The hair at the back of my neck stood up. When I got there, I was like a total mess. I said, sir, can I borrow $100 from you? He looked up. He was like, no. Why? I said, no. Okay, sorry, sir. No, bye. I just turned around and just ran as fast as I could. I was so embarrassed. But the thing about a video blog is everything you do, you got to experience twice. Because that night, I have to upload the video, right? I have to edit the video. So in the video, I saw myself. First of all, I saw how scared I was. My face was pale, and I couldn't speak clearly. And I was like, this is not good. Then I saw this guy, right? I mean, he was a big guy. He said no to me, but he wasn't like a menacing figure. He didn't cuss me out. He wasn't rude. He just said no. He asked me why. So he was inviting me to explain myself. I could have said many things at that moment. I could have said, well, I'm trying to overcome my fear of rejection here. Or I could have said, I'm trying to have some fun. If you can do 100, can you do 50? Can you do 25? $5. You can do $5, can you? I could have said all those things. But what did I say in reality? I just said 4 words. No, sorry, no, bye. I'm like, this is my life. This is in the micro. It's like my life in the microcosm. Like every time I get the slightest rejection, I would just give up because I was so scared. So I said, okay, tomorrow, no matter what happens, I'm not gonna run. The thing is, I grew up in China, right? There's this this Confucius culture in me where I should be very reserved and very, very humble, right? Not asking for things. But I live in the U.S. and I feel I feel like a lot of times because of this, I was not able to ask for things. I was not able to be myself and ask for what I want. So I said, tomorrow, no matter what happens, I'm not gonna run. I'm gonna stay engaged. I'm gonna see what happens. So rejection 2, request a burger refill. Okay. One day I had this burger for lunch. It's really good, very big burger. And afterward, I went to the cashier and said, can I get a burger refill? And he was confused. He was like, what do you mean burger refill? I was like, just like a free drink refill, but with burger instead. And he said, sorry, we don't do burger refill, man. That's where he rejected me. But this time, I didn't run. I was like, okay, I really like your burger. It's so good. If you give me a burger refill, I'll come back here every day for the next week. I'll tell everyone about it. I mean, that's really good marketing for a free burger, right? And he was like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. But sorry, I can't do it. I'll get in trouble if we give out free food. I didn't want to get him in trouble. So that's where I left. And guess what? I wasn't scared anymore. I mean, it was still very awkward, but I didn't see. I mean, but I wasn't. I didn't just. I didn't feel so. I've been so scared. I didn't run. I said that's an improvement. It's only 2 days into this. I learned something new. If I don't run after rejection, if I smile and just stay engaged, I don't have to feel too bad. Then as I kept doing this, like strange things started to happen, like really weird things. People start to say yes to me, one after another. For example, one day I had a soccer ball in my hand. I would just knock on someone's door. The guy opened the door. I said, "Can I?" I said, "Sir, can I play soccer in your backyard?" And he looked at me. He was like, "Soccer in my backyard?" And he looked at me. I was serious because I got a soccer ball, I got the shin guards, cleats, all decked out. I got a uniform too. I was ready. And he was like, "I guess so. Come on in." So he invited me to his house. I was like, now what? How do I play soccer with myself in the backyard? I didn't think this through. So I just went in. I just bounced the ball on my foot and had him take a picture for me. But before leaving, I said, "Hey, how can you say yes to me?" And he was like, "Dude, this is so off the wall. How can I say no?" I'm like, "Okay." So then there's another day. I saw a police car driving down the highway, right? I was waving at him, and he was waving back at me. And I was like, no, can you stop? So I pulled him over, and I said, "Officer, can I drive your car?" I mean, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to drive it away. I just want to I just want to give it a try, and I want to give it a spin. I'm going to listen to a radio. I want to feel like a police officer. And he was like, "I've never heard this before. Sure, why not?" So I drove a police car that day. Then there's another day. I got a bunch of yeses in a row. Like people keep saying, yes, you can do this. I just got frustrated. I'm like, this is rejection therapy, not acceptance therapy. I mean, how can I get a no today? How about if I fly a plane? By the way, I have no idea how to fly a plane. I have no license or knowledge. I just want to get rejected that day. So I went to this airfield in Austin. I saw a guy who looked like a pilot. I said, in the lobby, I said, "Sir, do you have a plane?" He's like, "Yeah, I do." I said, "Can I fly it?" He said, "Do you know how to fly?" I'm like, "Nah." It's like, "Yeah, it's okay. I'll teach you how to fly. You want to do it now?" I'm like, "Why?" What's going on? As it turned out, he didn't own a huge commercial jetliner, like a Boeing or something. He owned what's called a gyroplane. For those of you who don't know, a gyroplane is like a small helicopter or like a kind of motorcycle in air type of thing. So this is a rich hobbyist. He just bought his gyroplane. He wants to show how awesome it is. So he can't wait to tell me. He can't wait to teach me how to fly. By the way, I have video evidence for all of these. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can see all of this. They're all pretty fun. But speaking of video, I want to show you one video that really talks about this idea of me looking for rejection but not getting it. And here it is. So to give you some background, this happened in a donut shop called Krispy Kreme, right? If you've ever been to the United States, it's a very famous donut shop there. So here it is. I'm driving toward Krispy Kreme. I'm gonna ask them to make me some specialized donuts, and we'll see what happens.
What kind of specialized donuts are we talking about?
I like to have you link the 5 donuts together, make them look like Olympic symbols.
Oh. It was the red, blue, green, yellow. What's the other color?
So these were the donuts. We had them for dessert that night. It was really sweet. In America, they put in sugar in a lot of things. And because of this video, I started getting emails from people all over the world. I even got some email from Korea, and just a lot of people are telling me, what you're doing is so awesome. It's so inspiring. I'm like, I'm just looking for rejection. So I thought I was the only person who was afraid of rejection, and maybe me and a few other people. As it turned out, everyone was afraid of rejection in some way, and they're living their fears through my eyes. And it's very therapeutic for people. And also, I start getting stories from people from all over the world. People sharing their stories. There are artists who's afraid of sharing her art. Then she saw this video. She started sharing her art, and she got invited by the government eventually. It changed her life. And there are some people who started new business because of this and who take a bold step. There are people who ask for promotion and ask for a raise and got it. And there are people who made changes in their careers. Or if you have loved ones or colleagues or friends who's afraid of rejection, share these stories with them. It's going to help. And if it doesn't help, you can always buy them donuts. That's a great leadership. That helps. So thank you for my talk. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.